Now, you mentioned migration issues there, Kristin, as well. They're really flaring up now because states like Texas and Florida have sent some of the people coming across the border north to New York City. And this has created, as you'd expect, a complete change in approach from a leftist city like New York, which normally says bring everybody in, make them welcome. Here's the mayor saying that he's at his wit's end.
I don't see an ending to this. This issue will destroy New York City. Destroy New York City. 110,000 migrants. We have to feed, clothe, house, educate the children.
Kristin, suddenly Eric Adams and a lot of other Democrats realise that strong borders are kind of useful.
Yeah, I'm glad they're finally realizing that. But Eric Adams and his ilk need to lay the blame where it belongs, which is Joe Biden. It is Biden's open border policies and his complete disregard for the law that have gotten us into this situation. I was looking recently at the statistics of apprehensions. Just in August alone, 200,000 or more migrants were caught. And those are just the ones that are caught. There are many more who are slipping through the cracks. To put that into perspective for your viewers, that is like importing another U.S. city the size of Boston, Massachusetts, every 3 months to the United States. This is not sustainable. At some point, the entire house of cards collapses. And this is just so typical of the Democrats, Chris. You know, they have no problem with these horrendous leftist policies until it impacts them directly.
Yeah, the common sense approach and applying those common sense values just seems to escape them. But eventually, through the programs like busing migrants north, some are starting to wake up. Have a look at these liberal women on TV. They're kind of waking up, but their solutions don't really cut it.
It puts tremendous stress on a city, on a community, on the social services. They need to be resettled elsewhere.
They need to spread out. We're this massive country.
Well, and it's only going to get worse with global warming and climate change because people can't live in certain parts of this world.
Oh, Kristin, this cracks me up. So now they've come up from Florida and Texas. They're saying enough in New York. Send them to some other cities as well. But also, climate change is going to make it worse, apparently.
Of course it is. No, but when I see these hens on The View saying this, it makes my blood boil, Chris, because for years, for decades here in Texas, we have been screaming out about this issue. We have been saying that this catastrophe is destroying our communities. But now that Greg Abbott is sending a tiny fraction of migrants up there compared to what we're absorbing down here, they're all running around screaming, saying that this is going to be the end of New York City. It is infuriating, but at least they are finally awake, at least somewhat, to the size and scope of this crisis.
Absolutely, and his tactic of sending people north has worked. It has made them confront the reality of the situation. Thanks so much for joining us, Kristin. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Chris. Always a pleasure.